We're taking a deep dive into the one mindset that Elon does swear by, not just for work, but for life and parenting.
I think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy.
Welcome to AI Basics, the podcast where we simplify artificial intelligence and talk about the real skills our kids and we need in a fast changing world. It's called first principles thinking. Let me repeat that first principles thinking. And it's something all of us can use to raise future ready kids. So, what really is first principles thinking? Let's break it down. It means not accepting things just because that's how it's always been done. Instead, we again start to ask smart questions. What do I really know for sure? What are the basic parts or truths? And how can I rebuild this better from scratch? Or as Elon puts it, teach our kids to reason from first principles. He says this is one of the most important thinking tools kids can learn. Think of it like a superpower, especially in the age of AI.
So the normal way that we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. We're doing this because it's like something else that was done, or it's like what other people are doing. Because it's kind of mentally easier to reason by analogy rather than from first principles. But by first principles is kind of a physics way of looking at the world. And what that really means is you kind of boil things down to the most fundamental truths.
Elon wanted to send a plant to Mars to spark public excitement about space. He tried to buy a rocket. Woo, the cost, 60 million. He says, okay, let me get a used rocket. The cost was still exorbitant. Most people would have said, okay, too expensive, never mind. But Elon started to ask, why are rockets so expensive? What are they made of? He started to break down the problem. He said, okay, there's aluminum, there's fuel, there's wires, there's computers. And guess what? When he added up all the cost of the raw material, it was only a fraction of the price. So he said, let's build it ourselves. And that's how SpaceX was born, not by copying NASA, but by rebuilding from scratch. And here's a great example from Elon himself.
For batteries, $600 per kilowatt hour, and so it's not going to be much better than that in the future. And you say, no, okay, well, what are the material constituents of the batteries? What is the spot market value of the material constituents? So you can say, okay, it's got cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, and some polymers for separation, and a steel can. So break that down on a material basis and say, okay, what if we bought that in the London Metal Exchange, what would each of those things cost? It's like $80 per kilowatt hour. So clearly, you just need to think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell, and you can have batteries that are much, much cheaper than anyone realized.
But why does this matter in the age of AI? Because AI is amazing at copying. It can write, it can draw, it can even code. But what it still struggles with is asking great questions, challenging what's normal, and reimagining the world. That's where your human brain wins. And that's where first principles thinking is such a big deal. Here's what Elon said. I think it's important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. That's what allows us to innovate. Let's teach our kids that. Here's a fun and simple first principles thinking example applied to a school bag. First, what is the problem? The problem is the school bag is too heavy. So step one is to identify the problem. My school bag is too heavy. Most kids and parents just accept this as normal. But let's apply first principles thinking and ask, why is it heavy in the first place? Step two, let's break it down. Let's list what's really inside our bag. 5 to 6 textbooks, notebooks for every subject, a water bottle, a tiffin box, a pencil case, maybe a laptop or a tablet, a raincoat, craft supplies, sometimes even shoes, and even the material that the bag is made from. That actually adds a lot of bulk. Now we ask, do we really need to carry all the stuff every single day? What's the real purpose of each item? And what are the material and designs we should be using? Now we move to step three. Let's challenge each and every assumption. And here's where first principles thinking really kicks in. Instead of saying that's how school just works, we ask, Why can't books stay in school lockers? Should we really get homework? Could homework be done digitally? Could one notebook work for all subjects? And do bags really need to carry everything, or could storage be shared? Now we're moving from copying to reimagining. Step 4, let's rebuild the solution. Let's start from scratch. And here's what we might invent: a tablet with all books inside, light and adaptable; a memory based system, no books, just concept building exercises; a smart modular bag with attachable compartments for PE days, art days, etc., a smart locker at school that stores frequently used items and syncs with the child's schedule. And as all kids would say, maybe just no homework. From Elon's wisdom, if you reason by analogy, you're copying others. But if you reason by first principles, you can invent something completely new. And that's the kind of thinking our kids will need in a world full of AI, automation, and unknown jobs. They don't need more memorization. They need curiosity, creativity, and the courage to question. So next time when our kids ask, why do we do this? Don't shut it down. Encourage it. That question might just be the start of the next great invention. This podcast, as all of ours, was created with the help of ChatGPT. Yes, we're using AI to make content about AI, and we're proud of it. The exercise that we mentioned, we've included a couple of others in the comment box. And if you love this episode, don't forget to follow, share, and send in your questions for the next one. So until next time, keep it simple, keep it curious, and think like Elon.